Do you think this will work? Will content creators that you try and amplify want to go via Twitter in this way?
I mean, right now, no, I don't think it will work, mainly because I don't think this is a platform that creators can sort of trust, right? Like it was just, you guys were just sort of talking about that, right? There's been so much tumult at Twitter in the past few months since Elon's taken over. If you look at the thread where Elon tweeted this, half of the comments on it are talking about parts of Twitter that are broken. And so if I'm a creator thinking about where to kind of launch a business, which effectively this is, I would be very suspect about doing that on Twitter. I mean, I just feel like you can't trust this product. I mean, they've lost most of their employees, and talk about security, talk about, just reliability of a product. As a creator, I would be very reticent to do this on Twitter
Lauren,
right now.
I think this is a good opportunity to also talk about how the content creator ecosystem works, right? That you need a following. And I guess a question that I had is does this move by Elon Musk bring content creators from other platforms like TikTok and YouTube, where they already have an established following and may not have one on Twitter?
I don't think this is compelling enough of an offer to bring people over to Twitter. What I think this is more about are the content creators on Twitter that have amassed huge followings, of which there are many of whom have built businesses off of that, just putting it elsewhere. And if I'm there, I'm struggling of like, oh my gosh, I've got all these followers here, and now I can capitalize on that here, but I don't trust this product. Do I think this is bringing creators over to Twitter? No, I think there's other options to provide subscription. Obviously, Patreon comes to mind. Even Meta has a subscription offering. So there's other places to build a subscription service.
Lauren, with your Jelly Smack corporate development hat on, creator upload podcast hat, or even your former Facebook, now Meta hat, how do you quantify the Elon Musk effect? Because he has one.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if we have enough time for that. Here's what I'll say about this. You can't deny you've got an innovator there, right? Like I think about payments just in itself, right? You've got his PayPal background, right? So you've got this, and I think he has, despite everything that's gone on, I think he's got this lure about him. People still, sort of worship him in terms of what he's built. You cannot deny him as an innovator. So there's going to be those folks that are going to follow him wherever he goes, right? I think that there's that, and I think that is sort of invaluable in a certain sense, and why Twitter still has legs and people are still hanging on. That's why we're talking about him right now, right? It's why we're hanging on to every word, because we know there's genius there. It's just that he's never run a platform like this. And having been at a platform obviously similar, I was shocked how much Facebook can break when I was there. I was like, what do you mean it doesn't work sometimes? These platforms are so buggy and they break all the time. And he's gotten rid of all of the infrastructure there by which to support this, basically. And so I feel like there's just some basic fundamental things that he needs to do before he builds this. But in some ways, I want this to work because I think that he is such a genius that he could bring to this product. It's just a matter of whether or not they can support it. So quantifiable, I mean, I think it's in some ways invaluable and undetermined.
Yeah, Caroline, one thing that really stood out to me in that Spaces the other night is Elon Musk talking about how the ad slowdown was impacting their competitors, not just Twitter. And he kind of really labored that point. And on this show, right, Caroline, think Substack, we see people making moves.
And to that point, Lauren, we made the idea with Sarah that Substack's going into Notes. They're looking more like Twitter. Twitter's in some ways sort of shadow banning people who put Substack links in. And where are your people wanting to build community? Is it all about Substack? Do you need to be across all platforms?
Well, I mean, that's fundamentally what Jelly Smack's offering is, right? Like most creators at the end of the day are experts in one, maybe two platforms, but they recognize that there's a huge audience out there that may not be just sort of servicing. So we are interested, we're really video focused. So we're really focused on more, the creators that we work with are really focused on the video platforms. I understand that Twitter, they're supposedly, I mean, he said you could be doing all sorts of things, including video on this subscription, but it's really thinking about platforms like Pinterest and Spotify. Those we're seeing a lot of interest in. As they seem much more stable, and the opportunity is really exciting on those kind of platforms, and we're seeing a lot of interest there.